Listen, if you've ever felt that sudden chilling numbness right when a relationship gets serious, or if someone you love has told you that you completely shut down during hard conversations, I want you to hear this right now. Being emotionally unavailable does not mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're selfish, and it certainly doesn't mean you're incapable of love. What it actually means is that your nervous system learned a long time ago, maybe in childhood or after a really severe betrayal, that emotional openness was dangerous. Your shutdown isn't a character flaw, it is quite literally a biological survival program that kept you safe. So, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to completely dismantle the shame surrounding emotional unavailability. If you're someone who suspects you might be emotionally unavailable and you genuinely want to change, this explainer is designed specifically for you. We're going to look past the surface level symptoms and dive straight into the actual biology of why you pull away. And most importantly, we are going to find a real tangible path forward together. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover section 1, not a character flaw. Section 2, your brain's threat detector. Section 3, 5 patterns of withdrawal. Section 4, the 6-step path. Section 5, communicating with your partner. And finally, Section 6, the true metrics of change. All right, let's dive right into Section 1, not a character flaw, the myth versus the reality. It is seriously time we shatter the myth that being closed off is a conscious choice you're just stubbornly making. I mean, if you've ever been told to just communicate more or just be more vulnerable, you already know how completely useless that advice is, right? It's literally like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk normally. We are comparing a cognitive problem with a biological one, and you just cannot apply a cognitive solution to a biological problem. See, your capacity for emotional openness exists, but when your nervous system detects a threat, it pulls the emergency brake. It will override your cognitive choice to be more open every single time because it honestly believes your survival depends on it. That takes us to section 2, your brain's threat detector, the biology of the freeze. Take a second and just notice what physically happens in your body when you feel overwhelmed in a relationship. Your nervous system is constantly asking this background question: am I enough for you? When a vulnerable moment makes the answer feel like a no, your amygdala, which is your brain's threat detection system, fires instantly. Boom. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles rational thinking and could actually tell you that your partner isn't attacking you, is a full 6 seconds behind. 6 seconds. By the time your rational mind even catches up, your body has already dropped you straight into survival mode. And this brings us to a really crucial concept from Dr. Dan Siegel called the window of tolerance. Let's slow down here for just a second. When you're inside this biological state, let's call it roughly a 5 to 10 on a 15-point scale, you can listen, you can respond, and you can stay present even when things are super tense. But when that amygdala fires and your nervous system detects a threat, you drop way down into that 0 to 5 range. And when that happens, your biological directive changes completely. Your body is basically screaming at you to disappear, to shut down, to dissociate. So what does this actually look like in your real day-to-day life when your biology drops below that window of tolerance? How does this internal invisible freeze translate into outward actions? Well, let's get into section 3, 5 patterns of withdrawal, recognizing the symptoms. Emotional unavailability isn't just some vague personality trait. It manifests in very concrete, recognizable ways. We've got 5 distinct patterns here. First is the shutdown. This is classic hypoarousal, where your nervous system literally reduces blood flow to the parts of your brain that process emotion, making you go completely blank. Then we have the disappearing act, where your body physically removes you from the threat, like ghosting or suddenly needing to go do the dishes. We also have the minimizer, who shrinks their partner's pain because it activates their own shame of not being enough. And of course, the fixer, who jumps straight to solutions because they just cannot tolerate sitting in the emotional rawness of that moment. Now, what's really fascinating here is the pattern we skipped over, the rational fortress. This is also known as the hidden withdrawer. This specific pattern is wild because it usually makes you employee of the month at work, which makes it incredibly hard to spot as a problem at home. You present a flawless argument, you look totally composed, you seem like the reasonable one, but under the surface, you are just as dysregulated as the person who goes completely silent. You're essentially using logic as a shield, speaking a language that looks like engagement, but is actually a highly sophisticated escape. It builds an impenetrable wall right in your living room. Okay, section 4, the 6-step path, the graduated roadmap. So how do we actually fix this? I really want to emphasize that this is not about white-knuckling your way through vulnerability. It is about slowly, practically expanding your biological capacity. Take a breath with me as we walk through this somatic roadmap. Step 1 is simply naming the moment you start to leave, just noticing that sudden fog or tightness in your chest. Step 2 is turning the flashlight inward to ask where you feel the shutdown physically. But I want you to pay really close attention to step 3, the 75-25 boundary. When you communicate, keep 75% of your own awareness on your own physical body. Feel your feet on the floor, focus on your breath. Give 25% to your partner's words. By staying physically grounded in your own body, you maintain the biological regulation that keeps you from drowning in their emotions or completely checking out. And this brings us to step 5, which is an absolute game changer, proof of work versus fiat love. Fiat love is just saying the words without putting any real energy behind them. Proof of work, on the other hand, is the actual physical caloric expenditure of staying present when every single cell in your body is screaming at you to run away. It's forcing yourself to make eye contact when you desperately want to look away. It's staying in the room for just 3 more minutes when your chest is tight. That is proof of work. Moving to section 5, communicating with your partner, real-world application. How on earth do we actually talk to the people we love while we're in the messy middle of rewiring our nervous system? Listen, if you take nothing else away from this explainer, please memorize this script. You absolutely do not need a perfectly crafted, eloquent emotional monologue. Using an honest script, like I do not know what I feel right now, but I am staying, provides immediate presence without forcing a vulnerability that your nervous system doesn't even have access to yet. It stops your partner from filling the silence with the worst possible story, and it gives you a safe, grounded way to exist in that moment. Finally, section 6, the true metrics of change, progress, not perfection. Let's be totally real for a second and set some realistic expectations for both you and your partner, because rewiring a deeply ingrained nervous system pattern takes serious time. I want to reassure you, you're going to keep shutting down. You are. This pattern is run for decades. So sovereignty here is retroactive. If you set your goal at I'm never shutting down again, you're going to fail by day 2. Instead, measure your progress by these metrics. Are you noticing your exit sooner? If you used to shut down for 2 whole days and now you come back after 20 minutes, that is a massive relationship-saving victory. It is not about perfect performance. It is all about the return. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Next time the fog descends and your biology screams at you to flee, ask yourself this one question. Can you stay in the room for just 30 seconds longer? Because surviving those extra 30 seconds of tightness and fear isn't just some small step. It is an act of genuine, incredible courage that gives your nervous system the exact evidence it needs to know that openness won't destroy you. If you want to work on this for real, try Figlet, my AI relationship coaching app. You can start for free, no credit card needed, at figlet.empathy.com.